Oh, man. Just walking and reflecting. Just a dude in a time and a place, observing other people in a time and a place. See a lot of people acting from a place of fear. See a lot of people projecting their own ideas, fears, beliefs, whatever. If you're on one side, you think everyone on the other side's crazy. If you're on the other side, you think everyone on the other side's crazy. Can everyone be crazy? Seems like the pendulum swings one way or the other, and we just go from one mass hysteria to the other mass hysteria. I'm just noticing, I do sit and think before I hit the record button a little bit about my intention. The reason I share, the reason I talk the way I talk, is when I step back and observe. Some people call it meditation. Some people call it mindfulness. Let's just say, for simplicity's sake, when I step back and observe, come on, Scarlett, come on. My own thoughts, my own impulses, my own sensations, my own beliefs. When I step back and observe what's happening in my mind and the relationship of my mind to the pulses in my body, what becomes really apparent, and obviously this is like a process over many years that is refined over time and simplified over time. What I find is that a lot of my thoughts, my impulses, my fears, my anxiety, my beliefs, where I feel distressed, where I feel sad or depressed, is inherited from the culture around me. It's something I've absorbed. It's something that has been programmed. It's something that has been inherited. And it turns out when I consciously, from a place of awareness, whatever metaphysics you want to apply to it after that, quite simply, when I get in that space of awareness and I'm this observing being, I notice that I don't even agree with most of my thoughts, most of my impulses. I don't agree with the fear that I carry in my mind and my body. I don't agree with the learned helplessness that leads to the depression. And that has come as a direct result of navigating my own suffering in my own life and really getting to a place where my life circumstances brought me to my knees over and over again. Everything I thought I was, everything I thought I was going to be, everything I thought my life was about, vanished. It changed. It extinguished. I didn't get to be who I wanted to be. I didn't get to hold on to what I wanted to hold on to. I didn't get to keep my family together the way I wanted. It's all I ever wanted. So in being brought to my knees over and over again, I had a choice of I can become crushed under the weight of grief, pain, sadness, anger, resentment, by fighting for and holding on to my version of what this world is supposed to be for me, which is inherently the essence of narcissism. Like, I need the world to be a certain way for me or else. That's the roots of authoritarian thinking, narcissistic thinking. It's the roots. It's the base of it. And then it can grow from there. And I think that we have unwittingly become a very narcissistic culture, where a lot of folks out there are just projecting like, this is the way I need the world to be for me or else. It's the or else part that's dangerous. It's the or else part that perpetuates the separation and division and fear and resentment, and it's just this endless cycle, and it's perpetuated by entities of power that gain power and profit from it. If you're on one side, the other is your enemy. The other is the cause of your suffering. And if only that other would take your perspective, the whole world would change. If you're on the other side, you think the same way. And that just leads to endless separation and division and suffering and anger and resentment. So when I hit this record button, I'm not really trying to tell anyone to do anything. I'm just sharing my experience of being in this time and place, and how I'm navigating my own thoughts, my own impulses, my own suffering, my own perspective. And I recognize it's really the only way you're going to change anything in the world, ironically, paradoxically, is by working on yourself, changing yourself, taking responsibility within yourself. Really, the moment you tell anyone to do anything, you are flirting with, again, the roots. I'm not saying it means you're an authoritarian or something or a narcissist, but this is just where my journey has taught me. The moment I tell anyone to do anything, and I say or else, and it lacks compassion, it lacks empathy, it lacks patience, well, now I'm projecting something into the world. And I'm telling the world around me it needs to act a certain way or behave a certain way or else. That's not how I want to be treated. That's not what I value in relationships. So, Scarlett's, she knows we're getting to the end of our walk. So she likes to go a little crazy. Okay, we'll go this way. Yeah, I don't think I have much more to share than that. I think you get it. I think you hear what I'm saying. The irony of change is it requires great surrender. All the spiritual teachings of all the various ideas and mythologies and dogmas out there teach us that. It requires great surrender. And if we allow fear to guide our ideas, our projections, our behavior, we're just creating more of the same thing that we're trying to get away from. It's a never-ending cycle. I think if we create, it doesn't mean we don't feel fear. It doesn't mean we don't feel sadness. It doesn't mean we don't experience suffering. But if we create, if we project, if we demand, if we force from that place, then we're becoming the exact thing that we're trying to oppose or resist or change. Whatever we resist persists. That's that simple neurological idea. Whatever you resist persists within yourself and outside of yourself. So if we resist something, we actually perpetuate that fear within our own mind and body. It's how we program. Moment by moment, breath by breath, we program our mind and body through resistance or through openness and surrender. And I don't feel like getting lost in the weeds on that right now. I'm just sharing in the moment how I'm navigating this time and place. I know there's a lot of fear out there. I know there's a lot of anger out there. There's a lot of alarm out there. But you know what? The other side, from whatever side you're on, has also been in that place as well. And we're not all crazy, and we're not all delusional, and we're not all bad. We all have different ways of trying to get to the same place. In my humble opinion, we will never get, the collective we, will never get where we truly want to get as long as we are separated and divided and projecting and creating an other we will just constantly act out our biological evolutionary roots of tribalism, and it will be an endless cycle. And the people and the entities of power that we are really afraid of, that really do force suffering upon us, that use and abuse us, they will gladly, with a smile on their faces, encourage you to separate and divide and to take a side and to project your anger. And they will poke you and they will prod you and they will whisper in your ear that there's that other over there that is to blame for your suffering. And if only they would go away, everything would be better. And that kind of language is from the devil. And I'm just saying that mythologically. It's from a place of fear. It's from a place of darkness. We have love and we have fear. You don't get to do both. Love and fear come from a very different place. All right, onward.